In a bustling little town, where rooftops were so close that neighbors could leap from one to another, lived two children who were the dearest of friends. Their names were Kai and Gerda, and they loved each other not as brother and sister, but with a loyalty that was just as strong. Their families had built a little garden of roses that stretched between their two windows, a bridge of fragrant blossoms where they would play for hours. One day, a wicked troll created a magic mirror that distorted everything good and beautiful, making it look ugly and worthless. The mirror shattered, and its tiny, glittering shards were scattered across the world by the wind. If a piece of the mirror lodged in someone's eye, they would see only the worst in everything. If a sliver entered their heart, it would turn to a lump of ice. One winter's day, as Kai and Gerda were looking at a picture book, a sharp pain struck Kai in the eye, and then in his heart. A tiny shard of the troll's mirror had found him. His personality began to change. He became cruel and cynical, mocking their beautiful roses and pushing Gerda away. His heart had begun to freeze. That evening, as snow fell heavily, the magnificent Snow Queen appeared in her sleigh, as white and glittering as a star. She saw Kai, whose heart was now cold enough for her liking, and beckoned him to join her. Enchanted by her icy beauty, he tied his little sled to hers and was whisked away, far from his home, to a palace of ice and snow at the North Pole. When Kai did not return, Gerda was heartbroken, but her love for him was too strong to give up. As soon as the snow melted, she set off on a long and perilous journey to find him. Her quest was filled with strange and wondrous encounters. She met a kind old sorceress with a garden of eternal summer, who tried to make her forget Kai, but the sight of a single rose reminded Gerda of her mission. She was helped by a clever crow who led her to a palace where she thought Kai might be only to find a kind prince and princess who, moved by her story, gave her a golden carriage and warm clothes for her journey. Her journey grew colder and more dangerous. The golden carriage was attacked by robbers, and Gerda was taken captive by a fierce little robber girl. But even the robber girl was touched by Gerda's unwavering loyalty. She released Gerda, giving her a reindeer to ride north and returning her warm boots. The reindeer, who knew the way to the Snow Queen's palace, carried Gerda across the frozen tundra, through the shimmering, dancing northern lights. Finally, exhausted but resolute, Gerda reached the Snow Queen's palace. It was a vast, glittering structure of ice, cold and empty. Inside, she found Kai, his face blue with cold, playing with shards of ice. He was trying to spell the word eternity, a task the Snow Queen had given him, promising him the whole world and a new pair of skates if he succeeded. He was so frozen by the Snow Queen's kiss and the shard in his heart that he didn't even recognize Gerda. Gerda ran to him and threw her arms around his neck, her warm tears falling onto his chest. Her love, so pure and true, melted the shard of ice in his heart. Kai burst into tears, and the shard of the mirror in his eye was washed away. He was himself again. He looked at Gerda and recognized his dearest friend. They hugged each other, their joyful tears flowing freely, and as they did, the pieces of ice at their feet danced and formed the word eternity all by themselves. Hand in hand, they left the icy palace. The reindeer was waiting to carry them part of the way home, and they met the robber girl and the other friends who had helped Gerda on her journey. When they finally arrived back in their town, they found that everything was the same, yet different. They were grown up, but their hearts were still young. The roses in their little garden were in full bloom, and as they sat together, hand in hand, they understood the power of a love that never gives up.